Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Come on and take a seat. I have a wire. Hold on. Welcome, welcome. Happy Curve, everyone. Thank you. There we go. Can we try that again? Happy Curve, everybody. Woo! As you can tell, I'm very excited to be here, but mostly for this panel. I love hosting things like this. I think it's really important for us to have time and space for conversation so that we can think about the things that are going on in our industry, ask people questions, and then hopefully afterwards continue that conversation. We've got 45 minutes here today. We're not going to solve the issues of bra fitting in 45 minutes. So the goal is for us to start that conversation and then continue it together. We've got some awesome panelists up here. I'll introduce you to all of them in a minute. If you don't know who I am, my name is KIMMAY CALDWELL. I have been in the industry for 17 glorious years. I started as a bra fitter myself, so this topic is very, very dear to me. I also have something new coming later this year, so if you are a bra fitter or boutique owner, I'd love to talk to you. I'll give you some more information on that later as well. But I'm also mostly known for being an undergarment educator. Education is really important to me, both for the consumer and also for the boutique owner. I think it's really, really key that we are educating ourselves on not just the hot new topics, but like how to really serve that person with compassion and empathy in front of us. I also have done the Rachel Ray Show many times, the Today Show, the Marilyn Dennis. Anyone here from Canada? Any Canadians make it into the show? Yes! One Canadian. So the Marilyn Dennis Show is very popular there. I've been on that show 10 times. I love talking about undergarments and helping people know their options, whether it is a mass market company or a small indie brand, whether I'm sending them to a big department store or a boutique, I want to make sure that person knows their options. So that's a little bit about me. You can find all of our information up here too. Please tag everybody, get to know everybody. These people are awesome. They've got wonderful, wonderful information for us today. Okay, let's get started. So first of all, the description for this event says bra fitting past, present, and future. And it said something about the inception of lingerie. Or bra fitting. I want you to know we're not here to do a history lesson on bra fitting today. This is not an educational workshop in that way. And really we want to maybe address mostly the present and the future of what is going on in this industry. So that's really where we're going to spend the most of our focus. Let's make sure this works. Beautiful. So there's our lovely title. I also want to let you know that this is sponsored by FitMatch, which is a technology company. They've got a booth here. You're going to hear a lot from them today. We've got one of their lovely people here on our panel today. This is a tricky topic, and I had some really candid conversations with Hilary about this, that as a bra fitter myself, I see your face. I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know about this. So again, the point of this is to explore all of the options in our industry right now. See what's going to be a match for us, see what's going to be a match for the industry in general, and see where it's headed and where we can go together. So first of all, let me read our lovely bios and introduce the wonderful people that we have here with us. And I'll start with the gentleman to my left. This is Guido Campella. He is the Cosabella's co-CEO with his sister and the co-CEO and owner for Journal with his wife. He is also launching Girls with Big Dreams Become Women with Vision with his 2 daughters. I think most of us in the industry know him. Can you please help me give a big welcome to Guido? Up next is Hilary Littleton. She is a senior marketing professional leading all things growth at FitMatch, the augmented reality-powered apparel match platform that's transforming the traditional bra fitting experience. With 8+ years in the fashion retail industry, she has brought to life innovations for partners worldwide that fuel engagement and ROI. Hilary is passionate about revolutionizing the retail industry with inventive ways to help brands and retailers meet their business goals and increase customer loyalty. Please help me welcome Hilary. Hooray! Next up with this gorgeous hair is Lee Padgett. Lee has been a serial entrepreneur since elementary school. I'm from Rochester, New York. I'm sorry, the elementary. She is best, thank you, Guido. She is best known as the owner and operator of Busted Bra Shop. As of 2022, Busted Bra Shop has grown to 5 store locations. She's also a member of the Disabled American Veterans, where Lee served her local chapter for 3 years. She was one of the first females in the country inducted into Trench Rats, a national veterans organization. And as president of the Rotary Club of Detroit AM, program, she quadrupled the membership in a year. The club worked with other Rotary clubs on Operation Warm, a service project that provided over 3,000 coats to local children. She coaches and encourages women to become entrepreneurs, which has encouraged some to open up their own businesses right there in Detroit. Please help me welcome Lee. I like the cheering section. You can cheer. I'm all for it. Okay, and then finally, last but not least, Stephanie Vincent has over 15 years, I know she looks like she's 15, of experience in specialty retail, primarily lingerie. Becoming 1/3 of the Fitting Curve co-founders in 2016 has solidified her passion for helping anyone in need of her expertise in the fitting room and beyond. She ensures that her clients feel comfortable, luxurious, and most importantly, the best version of themselves. Help me welcome Stephanie. Hooray! Okay, so first we are going to start with, again, this lovely gentleman to my left, and I have, I have some quotes here from other people in our industry to help bring in some more insight. So first, Rita, we'll start with you. So your involvement with Cosabella and Journelle gives you perspective into many aspects of the industry. So tell us, how does fit play a role in profit, and does it change from brand to brand? Oh yes, your microphone's here.
Is it on? It is? Yeah. Okay, sorry guys. Well, there's a word that we're all hearing on the news every day now is inflation. And I get to see I have a unique perspective because we also have a production company, so we go all the way down to the fiber. And the biggest challenge I would see with Fit is there are so many brands and products that we love, and as retailers, it's really hard when the prices continue to evolve and change. And it's not gonna stop. And I can tell you from what I see, we haven't even seen 18 months down the road where it's going to stop. So the biggest challenge will be creating value for the fit experience to convince the customers or help the customers understand that these products are worth it. And there's a reason why the prices evolve. So being able to keep full price, being able to really showcase and explain how hard it is to get all those 27 components together to make that bra, and how each one has had issues, right? So I think the storytelling is one of the bigger things that I see in terms of really explaining why a bra is worth the dollars that it's worth. Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier when we were just chatting that also with underwire garments, maybe flexibility in the product and the material is really key too. Can you talk about that?
So I think you see brands really evolving, and a lot of people are looking at the different types of fabrications you can use to lessen the amount of components, right? So stretch fabrics. There's so many great technical stretch fabrics now that are being used. Cosabella uses it in bralettes. Journelle uses it also in sleepwear. So, stretch fabric can remove 2 or 3 layers of support sometimes in specific products. Not for all products, but yeah, there's innovations, and I liken it to what my dad used to tell me in the 80s when there was the oil crisis, and people had to really become efficient with the way they use their cars and everything. It's the same way in which we're designing products now, especially in fashion. We have to be really efficient. So,
awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
So a word here from Abby, who's here with us today. I see you're in the audience. Hey, girl. She says, it's great to see the industry evolving to meet the needs of the modern consumer by adopting non-traditional or maybe less traditional bra fitting methods that appeal to consumers who prefer online shopping or who can't physically be in a store due to COVID-19 restrictions. I think a lot, if you're a bra boutique owner, this was a crazy couple of years where you had to get inventive. So on that topic, Stephanie, for you and your sisters own your bra shop together, hooray! Tell us how you got inventive during the pandemic when in-person fittings were on a pause, and is there anything that has sort of carried over now that we're back to in-person fittings?
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone knows that all small business owners had to pivot a lot at the beginning of the pandemic. And what we did, we took a chance on offering virtual bra fittings. And for us, it was kind of apprehensive because people come in to get our expertise in bra fitting. And we had clients checking in on us and wanting to reach as many people as possible. So virtual bra fittings is the one thing that has carried over from the start of the pandemic, as well as expanding our ever-growing inventory of wireless bras and bralettes. The beginning and during the pandemic, everyone's like, yeah, no wires, or I want to be completely comfortable, I'm working from home. That has completely carried over.
Yes. Yeah, that's a really great point. Okay, let's talk talk next. Actually, first let's watch this little video. This is from a fit match, and this is an experience in the store at a Savage X Fenty where they're using the technology. I wanted to make sure we saw how does this even work. This happens to be from an influencer, and let's see how it goes.
This whole time I've been wearing the wrong size. Finally, after doing this scan, I know this size now, and I'm taking this home.
Awesome. Okay, and then I've got a little quote here from one of the Savage X Fenty employees that says, after the fit experience, I even had a couple of girls start crying because they literally thought either they won't find a bra in their size or maybe you wouldn't have something for them that they would feel comfortable and sexy in and that would physically fit them. I think this is a lot of bra fitters at boutiques have had this similar experience with the in-person fitting too. So let's see. Hilary, one of the enterprise clients for FitMatch is Savage X Fenty, and they've been using the technology in a store setting in conjunction with sales staff. I know there might be some anxious bra fitters out here who are nervous that this technology is meant to replace them. So can you please just speak to the goal of the technology and why you chose to focus specifically on bra fit?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, KIMMAY. So I'll take the second question first. The reason why we focused in on bra fit specifically is we feel like it is a universally hard to fit category of people and women of all age ranges throughout their lives. And we also saw the opportunity to encompass shape into our technology where normally measurements cannot obtain shape value. So we really work on incorporating 3D shape into our technology and our product. So that is kind of like what really spawned the vision for our product. And then when it comes to the concern of the seller, our technology is actually a tool for sellers. It's a tool that's used by Savage Fenty associates to better the customer experience, to enlighten the customer. Obviously, as you could see from the testimonials, it's a huge learning curve for a lot of customers and a big mental block that they may have. So we're not only bettering the customer experience, but we're also bringing a lot of ROI driving tactics in for brands. So we've already seen in our short month of being in 2 brick and mortar retail stores with Savage, there is a higher conversion rate. There is a 20% increase in average order value. So not only are customers really excited about this, but they are shopping more.
Yeah, and I think they can see too that size is that starting point, the fit really matters, but love that they're actually for the first time having that experience of like double D what? Mm-hmm. Again, we've all seen this in the bra boutique many times, and now they're getting a new way to experience that. Awesome. Lee, oh wait, I want to share these first. Hold on, please. This is from Amanda Shore. Her name's not on there, sorry. Bra fitting has been incredibly rewarding for me, but I don't think people appreciate the skill and experience that goes into it. And I just wish we fitters were looked at with more respect. And then this one here from Jeannie, she says, bra fitting itself is pretty old school and it hasn't changed much. I don't know if I agree with that. We might see if people do. But bra fitters themselves are now treated, paid, and rewarded as the professionals that they are. So she kind of disagrees with the person before her. We treat ours like VIP, and that increases employee happiness and retention for sure. Because of the personal service and knowledge involved, she says, bra fitting is here to stay. So, yes, hooray. So Lee, you have 5 store locations, and I'm very curious, how do you keep your fitters supported, trained, and engaged across all of those different stores?
Education really helps, and communication. So we have a lot of different group texts that we work on. They come to Curve with me. They come and do product knowledge classes. Yep, I've got 3 here today. Different managers. Everyone needs to learn what we sell and how we sell it. And we do talk about what happened during the day, what went really well, what didn't. So it's really communication helps, and education, of course.
And that direct feedback from your store employees.
Absolutely. And of course, we get direct feedback from the customers as well, because we're very accessible. So the regional manager and the CEO are available on the back end of all the social media, and they can ask me anything they need. If there's an issue, then we try to work directly with them. So communication between the customers and the employees helps.
Love that. Okay, great. Next, we're going to go right down the line, and in one word or one sentence, we'll talk about a current issue in bra fitting today. But first, let's hear an example from this lovely person. So she says, what is a top challenge that bra fitters face? And she says, misinformation. For example, that a double D is huge, or that Victoria's Secret is God. No offense to Victoria's Secret, they could be a great solution for some people, but especially for people who are specifically into bra fitting, they know there's a better solution for that customer. And then she says, oh my gosh, it makes our job so much more difficult. So down the line, Guido, we'll start with you. We'll just go this way. In one word or one sentence, what's a challenge that fitters are facing, or the bra fit in general is facing these days?
There's so many good words. I think I'm going to go back to the storytelling piece. I think it's the storytelling. So education and training on the storytelling of why a product's worth what it is.
That's a great answer. Next.
I would have to say a manual, cumbersome customer experience.
Great. Next.
Fear. I think that fear on the customer side, even coming in and finding out what their bra size might be, because maybe it's something they don't want to hear, and also just getting into a dressing room.
Amen. We were just talking earlier saying that some people actually think going to get a bra fitting is even worse than going to the dentist and getting a root canal, right? There's a lot of fear, and to your point about the misinformation goes with the double D as well. So I'm sure we've all had those clients that have come in, and I've had a client tell me before, I refuse to wear something over a D cup. Yeah, I'm seeing head nods. Yeah, because they're afraid that that number means something about them, that that letter means something about them. So I definitely think the education piece we were talking about earlier and getting rid of some of this misinformation will help a lot. Finally.
Inclusivity.
Amen. We could talk about that for a long time
Always.
too. Great. Okay, next up. Here's a great quote from Chai. It's long, bear with me, careful. My hope for bra fitting is that it will, this is to your point exactly, it will be genderless, that more brands will be more size inclusive and approachable price-wise, and that fat tax will not be added to extended sizes. That's a lot to ask for, and yet I think it's also a worthy ask. And then she adds, I'm optimistic about the lingerie industry and the positive direction it is attempting to move into in regards to inclusivity. This is something that is very important to me, and I know that it's still a work in progress, but I hope to see more. So Guido, I've noticed that Cosabella is ever evolving, and they're offering new size ranges, new product categories, and different kinds of shoppers even than before. So it looks both exciting and exhausting, and this is, again, it's a lot for people to ask for. So what challenges have you faced in keeping up with customer and bra fitter desires, and how are your brands overcoming those challenges?
I think change is a natural part of everything we do in life, but also in the way that we look at the products that we sell. And we're seeing products, we've always had products, and I really learned this even in store, that there's some products that have been genderless for a long time. But really getting that word out there, hitting a critical mass point where you start developing the product to really fit everybody. So inclusivity is such a great point. Genderless is such a great point. So one of the things that we're really focusing on is how do we look at underwear? And what's that stigma of underwear? And who's lingerie for? I'd say the biggest challenge is how do you get all of that into a store? How do you make everyone happy? And I think part of our job, really for all of us, is to make people really happy and how intimate they feel and how, it could be sexy or comfortable or whatever the word is, but you have to really go with a wide range of products. So the biggest challenge, how do you fit all that into one fitting room, right? So.
And I've heard that Cosabella is also expanding into undergarments for the male form. And so now we're probably doing bra fittings on male bodies. Have you had a bra fitting, Guido?
That was a secret, but yes. No, I did. I had a bra fitting by 4 different people at the Journal stores to see if there was consistency, and they all did it separately. They all nailed it,
How
I
did it
guess.
go?
Great. It was awesome. It was eye-opening, but I think the biggest thing that's been eye-opening for me, and there's great people that we're working with that are in the audience too that are showing me actually how these products can be worn across those gender lines, and it's going to be fantastic. I think one thing, because I'm Italian, we talk about the Renaissance time period, and if you go back and look at fashion trend across gender lines back then, we're not far. There's some really cool things happening. So.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it. Okay, next up from Tiffany, she says, in changes in the industry, I've seen fitting move away from using the +4 method. Controversial, the +4 method. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's when you measure underneath the bust and then you usually add 4 or 5 inches. Currently, in most modern day fitting, you're taught to add 0 to 3 inches to the bust, to that measurement to then get your band size. As more sizes have become available and bras have become more stretchy with fabrications and components, the need for adding the extra 4 is not really necessary. Now, I actually know there's a really great brand here who still fits this way, and they call it classic sizing. So this is sort of a controversy, but it is a huge shift from when I started fitting. We no longer do this anymore. Another big shift is one of the changes I have seen in bra fitting over the years is more and more people leaning towards comfort versus the look. So Stephanie, we've joked that you look really young, but you've been in the industry for a long time, for 15 years. So can you tell us what is 1 or 2 of the significant changes you've seen as a bra fitter in our industry?
I believe the art of bra fitting in itself has completely changed within the time I've been doing it. The same way that I was trained, the same way I thought about bra fitting and my clientele when I was a teenager is completely different from today. I also think that when we're talking about storytelling, the specific instances of life-changing moments have completely evolved because society has evolved. So I have helped many everyone, really. I've helped transgender women. I've helped very young women with either double mastectomies or everything has completely changed in my journey as a bra fitter and owning a shop. So yeah, the art of bra fitting in itself.
And maybe how you approach those people too
Completely.
has changed from what you were trained, yeah?
Yeah, completely. I think as a bra fitter, number one, you should kind of have empathy. So yeah, anyone who walks in should be serviced just the same.
I think I've seen, and just so you know, Stephanie and I actually used to work at a similar
Yes, we did.
bra shop together, so we have a lot of similar training. And there's been sort of a slight shift, or maybe a big shift depending on who you are, in how you establish your authority as a bra fitter in that room. Right? It's a very fine line between being vulnerable and transparent with them, but also being the authority, the person that's like, hey, I actually know this, I'm an expert in this. And I think one way that it's sort of shifted has been going from the I'm the boss in this room, you have to listen to me, to another option has been, hey, why don't I listen and hear what you need and hear you out, and let's just see what I can find for you when you know I got the best bras back there for you and I can get it in 2 seconds. So displaying how you're the authority, I think, has shifted for me a lot personally.
Agreed, yeah.
Great. Okay, next up, we've got some more slides. I asked some bra fitters what they thought about quizzes, apps, and technology in general. This was a very bold statement from Alexandra. She's actually French. She's in Australia. She's a great fitting shop there. And she was really blunt. She said bra fit apps, quizzes, and tech are mostly BS. She did not say BS. She said the full word. But some customers will, she did concede, some customers will benefit from the jumping off point. An app is just never going to be the same as an in-person measured fitting. On the other side, though, Tiffany adds about accessibility, which I think is really key. And I will add here, too, that I'm a person who lived in New York City for many, many years, where there's bra fitting shops and bra fitters and real great accessibility. And then I moved to rural Oklahoma, where it's a 2.5-hour drive to the local bra shop. So accessibility is a big thing on my mind personally, and she adds to this. She says, we need bra fitting to become easily accessible for women in underserved communities, or maybe rural communities, and women of color. Since starting virtual bra fittings, I have met many women who don't have access to bra boutiques, that other professional bra fitter services, or bra brands that cater to their sizes. But comfortability, and I love this, should not be a luxury, but a staple for all women, or all ad for all people. I love that so much. So Hilary, to this point, we all know that size is just the starting point, and fit is the real key to comfort and support. So how does Fit Match Tech address this, and what's next for the company?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually glad you brought up the conflict of opinions, because we aren't just your average bra app. We're not just a tech company. We have brilliant data scientists and engineers on staff, but we also have amazing fit models that now work for us, that incorporate their retail experience, that incorporate their technical design experience. We have a very diverse team that brings to life what you see in that video, that it is not just AI. It actually, the parameters are set collectively as a company with all of those minds in the room. So I will just say that. And then when it comes to, why we do what we do and kind of what the future is we are just scratching the surface. We want to give back really important data and insights back to brands and sellers, not just about, the customer experience, but about the inventory itself, how to better manage their inventory, how to size better, how to manufacture better. And so all of these insights, these brands and retailers can actually get in real time. So they don't have to wait till end of season to get, markdown data. We give them really access to data that they can't really get anywhere else. So I would say that is, really why we do it. And then for the future, we're also learning ourselves. So the more brands that we work with, the smarter our tech gets. Every single customer that scans is incorporated into our matrix. So our algorithms get just that more precise with each and every scan. So we're really excited about the future.
Awesome. Next over here, we've got LA. She's from Mexico, and she says, I do believe in holistic retail. Bras are just a part of the solution. Even if you provide a great fitting bra, if a woman or person doesn't shift their perception and still feels deformed or inadequate, our work is incomplete. So now we're really getting into the role of that bra fitter. This is from Amanda, and she says, compassion and openness are important qualities in a bra fitter. We are asking people to be vulnerable with us, and so we must let them see the vulnerable parts of us as well. And again, not for every fitter, but this is what's worked for this person. And treat their concerns and insecurities with compassion. So Lee, coming back to you.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. When it comes to bra fitting, there are a lot of challenges. We've already talked about some of the issues and all the things of being a small business owner that are so difficult. But there's also some really rewarding parts to this job. So I'm curious, what is the most rewarding thing about being a bra fitter, one rewarding thing? And what are some of the important qualities in a bra fitter?
Okay, so I'll go with important qualities. I think being able to communicate in the dressing room and being flexible with that communication is very important. You never know what somebody's going through. And so you have to take a lot of things into consideration, the empathy part, being flexible with how to communicate with a different person. So you have to have someone that does have quite a bit of empathy. And what was the first part again?
What's the most rewarding part of the job?
Oh, yeah, the rewarding part is being part of the community, because every community is different. Having 5 stores, it does actually help me get into and see, all right, so the people who work there live there, the people who shop there live there. And so I actually get to meet and see what that community is looking for. Then I can go over to the manufacturers and say, hey, this store needs these things. That store needs something totally different. So that's kind of really cool, is getting involved with the community.
Stephanie, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to add anything about how rewarding the job can be?
Honestly, not to sound like to toot our own horns, but changing people's lives in any like minuscule way or big way just really touches my heart, because anyone who comes in, whatever they're looking for, we play a really big part in that, whether it's, a grandma coming in to shop for getting her undergarments for her granddaughter's wedding, or someone's prom, or, a mother bringing in her daughter for her very first fitting and wanting to kind of destigmatize anything negative about breast health and bras. So kind of changing people's lives is very rewarding.
Changing people's lives, she says. Thank you. That's a really perfect answer, and I have to agree. I think it's a sharp tool for a lot of people to change someone's life. There's a reason that I personally combine bra fitting and coaching a lot, because I think they're so similar. We joke around a lot that like we're therapists in the room. It's kind of true. I gotta laugh, right? Like it's kind of true. Like we really have to hold that person in a very intimate space and not just put a bra on them and hope that they fit well, but like really hold space for that person in a very deep and powerful way. And I think you said this when we were over there. It's an honor. It's such an honor.
It truly is. It really is an honor.
Love that. Okay, great. Same question. I have a couple more things to share. Empathy was the number one thing when I interviewed bra fitters and boutique owners of what they thought it was important for a bra fitter to have. That was the number one quality. And here, Krista actually adds to it for us. She says, empathy. It's sensitive for folks of all sizes. Folks can feel too small or too large, very vulnerable. So you want to make them feel good and supported in more than one way. I have more slides here. This is also from Alexandra, and she says, this is what we're looking for the future of bra fitting. And she says, I hope the knowledge of what to look for in a good bra shop will be more widespread so that customers can find the places to help them where department stores are unable to provide that service. And again, people are looking for different levels of service on a regular basis. If you're looking for an actual bra fit service, I think those bra boutiques are so important. I use this metaphor a lot that bra fitters are kind of like mechanics, and I can say this because I never owned a car until I moved to Oklahoma. And so I bought it in Queens, drove it to Oklahoma. I didn't even know when am I supposed to change the oil? And I felt so nervous, thank you for the laughs. I felt so nervous going into the mechanic because I knew nothing. And I didn't even know what I didn't know. So I actually took an online course on car maintenance. And it didn't teach me to be a mechanic. It taught me the basics so I knew when to take it into the mechanic and how to actually help them. So that's why I actually have a bra course for consumers, because I want them to know the basics so then they can go in feeling empowered when they go into a bra fitter or if they have to DIY. Hopefully I never have to change my own oil, but if I needed to, I know how to do it. Here's another one, and this is from LA, and she talks about how Latin America, and this is just for us to think on like a global level, a lot of us are from the States here, from North America, but in our global community too, we have some things that need to change. So she's saying here that Latin America, and I'm not going to read this whole thing, is about 30 years behind in the lingerie industry, and that even just fitting someone into a D or a double D feels like a really big revolution there. So just thinking globally on what needs to change, we've made huge strides here in the US, and I'm so proud of us, and we've got more to do. So going down the line, this is our last question for our lovely panelists, and we'll start this way and go this way finally. In one word or one sentence, what do you think is next in bra fitting, or where do you hope it will go?
Know what I'm going to say? Inclusivity always. Yeah.
Next.
So accessibility. I think that we don't have enough places to get fit, and it might be time to have a bra brand actually franchise.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Next.
I would have to say technology and revolutionizing that.
Yes. Not last but not least.
Let's bookend it with inclusivity. I think inclusivity is key, and I think that's where stores and the fitting rooms maintain being such an important part of people's lives. So even bringing technology into it, I think having that right inclusivity touch is what's going to create that experience.
Amazing. I just love this industry so much. I'm so proud of the work that we're all doing together. I have one more slide here, and this is from Iceland, so another place all over the world. She said, I've had customers say to me, why don't they teach this in school? That's really not a bad idea. I see a lot of young women being more confident about their bodies and more accepting of the changes it's going through. To go through if this was taught early on. So body acceptance is a huge factor in our confidence, and having that confidence makes us better versions of ourselves. So my biggest hope for the future is that we will have more education. I told you education is my number one thing. So for the consumer on bras and bra products, and then for our awesome boutique owners and our brands. Hooray! I think it's Q&A time. Can we give a round of applause for our awesome panelists, please? I'm like right on time. I'm a minute early. I'm so proud of myself. So, do we have any questions out there? And do we have a microphone for out in the crowd, or do they need to yell? I think you need to yell, or I can come to you with this. Nope, they need to yell? Great. Or you can say it and I'll say it again. Anyone have a question for any of our panelists? And here's their information and their names again so that you know who they are. Any questions or comments? Yes, ma'am. You know what, you're close. Do you want to just say it here? I'll come to you. Can you say your name too?
Hi, my name is Helen. My question is for Hilary, well, more so of a comment. I know that you're talking about technology and how it's going to move the industry forward, and everyone here that are profiters have been talking about when you get into the fitting room, what happens in the fitting room. I think, yeah, being able to scan someone's body and getting their size is all great. I want to know in the stores that are using it, how do you couple the profiter's knowledge of how to approach someone, how to make someone comfortable. I think taking the scan is great. That gives you a starting point. But again, I think it's the personal aspect of it that everyone else is worried about. If you're really passionate about profiting and when customers come into your store and how to make them feel comfortable, how does that process marry together?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to repeat that real quick so she had her mask on. So she's asking, how does FitMatch pair both the technology and the scanning along with the bra fitter knowledge and their skill in the fitting room of making people feel comfortable and helping them get a great fit? Is that your question? Great. So how do you pair that together?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when it comes down to, I think the first thing that we get asked a lot is, protecting the customer's privacy and making sure that they do feel comfortable using technology when it comes to something pretty personal. So we actually don't have any bio-identifiers when they do the scan. Nothing is stored or saved to any clouds. We give them that 3D avatar that you got to see in the video. And so once they kind of get the knowledge of that, we really have worked with brands and trained associates to, the expertise that's in this room to really make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome. And once they understand what they're getting into, we give that back to the seller. That is their job. That's their expertise. We are only a tool to accompany and enhance that. So we really let them take it away when it comes to, their selling tools and their interpersonal relationships with the clients.
We were sort of talking earlier about, Stephanie and I, about how as longtime bra fitters, the measuring tape is kind of a prop. We can kind of eyeball a size, and yet it's also a confidence tool for the customer. So we'll measure someone so that way when we put them into a size, they're not like, what, how could I be this size? And be like, well, listen, the measuring tape said this, so let's just start there and see how it goes. And so it's a good starting point for people and for the consumer to understand why we chose to start with that size. Do you feel like it's sort of replacing the measuring tape a little bit?
Just like the measuring tape has been an age-old tool, FitMatch has really become a new age tool. If you think of it like that, we're really giving the power back to the seller to get more exact, to get more accurate. So we're not replacing anything. We, in our science, we don't use any measurements. We actually encompass shape. So we don't need a measuring tape because our scan actually takes a ton of measurements of just your targeted area of your breast. So
any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I'm wondering, there are just so many nuances about fitting. For example, someone's really bony, you're going to have the band be a little bit looser, if someone's a little more full, you're going to have the band fit a little bit tighter. And then just in terms of where the breast tissue falls, like an age couples, I can see scanning like a 32 double D, but what about scanning an age couple where, breast might be, how is
Yeah.
it calculated?
So the question was, every body is so different. So someone who might measure the same thing, for example, if they are squishier is what I use, the marshmallow effect, how squishy are they or how firm is that person, that's going to change then the band fit on that person. So the question is, how does this determine that? And then also, I have a question I'm going to add, you're going to have lots of questions about this too. Is it done with the bra on? Because a 32 double D, as you're saying, especially someone who might be 17 years old, is going to have a very different scan and breast shape than someone who is, as your example, a 38H, who then, if they take off their bra, their breasts are going to be a completely different shape. So how does it address that?
Yeah, definitely. So for the best scanning experience, we have customers wear unlined bras to at least encompass what would be in a bra. If they don't have that, then the volume is all distorted, obviously. And then when it comes to the size inclusivity, we have a gigantic matrix. And we're, like I said, we're consistently testing that and widening that matrix to include all of those body shapes. And what is different about what we do, we don't actually match a customer's body to the bra. We match them to their closest fit twin, as we like to call it, in that matrix. So our average accuracy rating is 93%. So if I got scanned, I would, on average, have like a 93% match to someone that has nearly identical shape as me to get me what the closest product match would be for them. So like I said, like every single scan actually adds to the preciseness of the calculations at the end of the day. So that's why I said like we're growing, and each time someone scans, we get more exact. I hope that answered your question.
I'm very curious to see what it would be like for someone who's a 38H. And again, you know, the current clients that you have don't have that size yet, am I right? They don't have like a 38H Savage X Venti. I could be wrong. Yes, ma'am, do you have a question? So the question is, what band and cup size does the technology currently go to? Is that right? Yeah.
That is actually a more particular data science question. So if you come to our booth, we can kind of talk through the technical aspects of that. I don't know off the top of my head because our team is in the room, but they can definitely answer more of that if you come by our booth.
Great point, yeah. I don't know if you could hear her. Yeah, it's a great point. And again, maybe serving a different level, a different clientele, you know? So her point was, it looks like in this particular thing, that person was probably like a 30 or a 32 double D, and that double D cup is where a lot of the specialty store owners kind of start with a lot of their business. In fact, who was it here that said that, yes, what's the #1 bra size that you sell?
38 double H.
Right. So a lot of those specialty stores for a long time have been really catering to the fuller busted person or someone who can't get that help. So for now, it looks like maybe that's.
So with Savage Fenty, actually, they are one of the most inclusive size ranging brands. So like we have tested 500 of their customers before we actually launched the product in store of all shapes and sizes, and they actually run, you know, definitely more into the plus size, but like we said, we're consistently testing and testing to get more accurate with including more of those body shape matches.
Yeah, and I think that will, I hope that will come with time. And I will say, you know, we're making faces here because inclusive is a relative term, right? Yeah. And Savage X Fenty does have a pretty decent size range, especially for a larger company like that. And I think a lot of bra fitters in here are like, I don't know, because they deal with extended sizes beyond what they have. So just want to point that out. Do you want to say something?
Well, not just the extended sizes, but also the very, very petite sizes. I mean, we go down to a 28 and some 26 bands. So that's not it.
So there's lots of area for growth and data.
Exactly. And every brand is obviously going to range in so many different ways, and that's like the great part about a new brand onboarding it with us is we get to learn with them on their pain points and their size ranges. And like I said, we can give back those insights to where, you know, if a customer is coming in and they don't find their fit in store, then we can say, hey, we're actually missing this huge block. That you need to start making bras for this demographic. So we can capture all of that and give that back to the brand.
Kind of love that. Great. We have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Anyone else or comments? Don't be shy. It's just a curve. Anyone have something? Okay. Well, then did I miss anyone over here? No. Then I'm going to wrap us up, and I just want to give one more round of applause to our lovely panelists over here. And then encourage you to please get in contact with them and myself. As I mentioned, I have something coming out this year too that I hope will support our boutique owners. And as far as like fitting goes and training goes, because I think that that's so key and so important. And coming to Curve is an awesome way to do that. And yet you can't bring your whole staff here. So please come to me. I've got business cards with a thing on it for you so you can get in touch with me. But also ask these lovely people questions. Go to the booth. Go talk with them. Go see what it is that they're up to and what questions they have. Or let us know what comments you have. I think there's cocktails at 5 over here. So stick around, have fun, enjoy the rest of your show. Hooray.